Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is Thankful Thursday, October 10th, and welcome to an all new episode of Style by Stevie. Our very special guest today is a R&B girl group, legendary R&B girl group. I'm super excited to have them here in the dollhouse with me, Fashion Dolls. Shades. We have En Vogue, we have TLC, we have Escape, we have Destiny's Child, we have it's so many, 702. But Shades was one of my favorite girl groups, and I'm super excited to be sitting with the beautiful ladies of Shade. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as we welcome to the dollhouse Tiffany, Monique, and Danielle. Hello,
Hey, beautiful. How are
hello.
you?
I am doing wonderful. How are
I'm
you?
great, thank you.
Let
Hey,
Hey, Tiff.
Dan-
hi.
okay, Danielle is here. We are waiting on Danielle to come in. Let me see. There she is.
Hi,
All right,
Monique.
let me add her.
Hey, Danielle.
Boom. There we are.
Hi,
Welcome, ladies.
Danielle.
I
What's
don't
up?
That's backwards.
Hi, beautiful
I'm
Your
ladies.
so
yard is
Oh,
about
gorgeous.
technology, you guys.
Your yard is gorgeous. Kevin did a great job.
oh my God, this is our first live, like an
Is
Yes,
it our
Instagram
first
live.
one?
yes,
Whoa.
yes, sir.
That's crazy, guys.
I'm gonna go over here because the sun is in my eyeballs.
I'm in a flower
taking
field.
this
It's so
all
pretty.
in right now because you ladies were one of my favorite girl groups.
Thank
Aw.
you
Introduce
so
you
much.
ladies. I went through and I've mentioned En Vogue, SWV, TLC, Jade, the
No.
Spice Girls. You had Black
Mhm.
Girl. You
Yes,
had so many Eternal that were out in the time, but
702. Yep.
Brownstone and
Yes.
Shades. And
Yes,
I love you guys' names because when you ladies did your performance on Soul
Yep.
Train, you said you have four different shades of black women, and
Yes.
each
yes.
woman in the group had their own sound. So I told one of y'all that I had a surprise for y'all. I went through and I'm a hair girl, like Monique over here to my right. I'm a hair girl. Um, I was flipping through black hair, and this is the issue where it's the 10 best styled women. And look who's on the cover. We got Holly Berry. So I opened it up, and on this page, look who I found.
Stop
Yay!
it.
Get out of here!
Hey, come
I
on.
love it. Yes,
I
I love
love
it.
it.
It's Stevie. We need a copy of that.
I
Yes,
love
I had to
that.
dig. I had to fight hard to get this issue, and then I was flipping through Hype Hair, and look what I found as well too.
Oh, yeah. Hype
I'm
I
hair.
love that.
I,
That was one of my favorite ones, you
Yeah,
guys.
me too. That was the Vibe magazine
I
shoot.
have that one.
That was the
Yes,
Vibe magazine shoot.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love it.
Wow. That's
Thank
taking it way back.
you.
And before we came on, I was just listening to you guys' classic single Serenade. Might I say the video looks beautiful. Darren D.
Thank
Whitkinson did an
you.
amazing job on the choreography. Tiffany, I still want that piece you wore in the
Everyone
opening
wants
of the
the
video
feathers.
with the feathers. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
right?
Um, you ladies looked beautiful, absolutely beautiful in this video. The makeup, my makeup today is a reference to you guys' Serenade
oh,
video. So I
yes.
had to do,
That's
oh
Chris
my God, I
Chris
Maldonado.
Maldonado did our makeup. Yeah, he did our makeup.
He was amazing.
Hmm.
but
Rest in peace.
you ladies came out with a bang. You were on fire. Like your single, Tell Me Your Name, is still relevant
Yeah,
today. And in this climate where we're in, where women are literally being vocal and saying, hey, this is what I want. Let me know up front. And the 90s,
right.
where it was a time where women literally had to fight to push down a male dominated industry. You had the acts like Lil Kim and so many others. But when you came out, your song was like a no brainer. It was tongue in cheek. letting you know what type of man you want and what you're looking for. Did you
Right.
ladies have any idea that this song would resonate still? We're now in 2024, and the song is still, people are still talking about this song.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's relevant because you have women like us that are mothers and we are business owners and we have to work outside the home and still come home and mop the floor and take care of the kids. And so it's very relevant. And what we were saying was not bring your own to the table so we can have yours. We were saying meet us halfway. We out here doing all these things for ourselves. So what kind of partner are you going to show up and be? And it wasn't about gold digging, but people took it as gold digging. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's relevant. We have to have a full partnership, right? So
I
definitely.
mean, and you had so many girl groups that were saying the same
Same
exact
thing.
thing. Because if
Right.
you look at it, Destiny's Child came out with Bills, Bills, Bills.
Right.
TLC gave us
No
No
scrubs.
Scrubs.
Yep.
Yeah.
You gave us
I
Tell Me
think
Your
we
Name.
got flack because
So,
we did it first, right?
Right. Well, let's think about
at
the
this,
original. Ain't nothing going on but the rent. Like that. That was '70s. You know, this was the
Yeah.
conversation that women have been having in their homes forever. We need help. We need support. What are you bringing to the table? You can't just be cute. It's not helpful. It's not helpful.
Yeah.
absolutely. And TLC got the same backlash for No
I know.
Scrubs. They got the same
Exactly.
backlash. Like, men were in their feelings, like, oh, I'm not a scrub. What you talking about? I don't live with my mom. I don't do this. If the song is not talking about you, it's talking about a specific type of man.
That's
If I've
right.
got
That's
my
right.
own, why can't you go out here and get yours?
That's
It
right.
should
Mhm.
be the same across the board.
That's
So
true.
Yes.
why is it a problem? Guys can say things in their songs, but when women do it, it's
That's
a
right.
problem. And I've
That's
had
right.
an interview with another female artist by the name of Miss Showbiz, and I asked her the question as well too. I said, "Why is it that women we can't say certain things, but men can call us a bitch? They can call us every name in the book and a child of
Mhm.
God, but when women fire back, oh, it's a
Yeah.
problem."
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That double
Yeah.
standard.
Still here. Double
Now
standard.
the single
Mhm.
peaked number 50 on the Billboard Hot 100. Did you ladies have any idea? Because it was on the radios, it was everywhere. Do you ladies remember where you were when you first heard the song come on?
Anyway, we were in San Francisco, right? We were coming out of
Yep.
Starbucks, going into Starbucks.
Yep.
We were in the car.
Yep.
We were doing like a
We were in the
promotional
car.
tour or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wasn't it with Connie Breeze? Wasn't she with us?
Yeah. I think we were on a
We were on
promotional
a
tour.
yeah,
Were, yeah.
promotional tour and our radio rep from Motown was with us
Well, listen,
when we heard it for the first time.
we were just grateful that we did get to 50 because if the LL song wasn't out, I believe that we would have definitely had a top 10.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The fact that we were competing against each other, I think it kind of knocked us out the box a little bit. But
Easily.
considering everything, I think it did
It
pretty well still.
Hmm.
it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lounging, which was with Total. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't get it. Why couldn't he include both girl groups on the single? It would have been dope to see
That
Total
would have
and
been perfect.
Shade.
It would
So
have made
can I
sense,
answer
right?
that? Because it was really interesting because when we were in the studio, we were doing our mastering and doing our mixing and stuff, our final mix, and the track masters happened to be in the session down the hall, and they came in and heard our mix, and they were so on fire for our mix. They went back to LL. They let them, told them what we were doing, and they rushed their own process. And we did ask Andre if we could collaborate with L, and it was like definitely not. They didn't want us to sing on his. They didn't want him rapping on ours. It was no conversation. So we went ahead and put ours out anyway, but that's what happened. We ended up fighting the whole time to prove that we didn't steal the idea from LL, that it just happened that way. It's very shady business.
The music
There you go.
industry has been so fickle for
Yeah.
women in general.
Yeah,
And at the time, you mentioned track masters, Monique. When I think of track masters, I think of Allure.
yeah,
Allure is another girl group.
hmm
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
something similar happened to them. It's just like their record label, just like, what happened?
yeah,
Where do we go from here?
yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
shopping around for deals. So the next question that I want to ask each of you is, what advice would you tell other girl groups? Because it's just like they're still here. You got SWV and Escape that just did their tour together. 702, Maya, Total, they all tagged along, which I think was dope.
Yeah.
But What is the key to making a girl group last? Because you ladies have lasted the test of time, as well as SWB, as well as
I I
I
think
was
that
about to say
I
K,
think
but yeah, the trio. I like the trio better.
oh, thank you, thank
Thank
you.
you.
I think the key to lasting is sisterhood and the love of music. So we are real music lovers. Like we all listen to a huge genre of music, like
Yeah.
everything. There's no type of music that we don't like.
Right.
So I think when you have that passion for music, at the end of the day, it's a business,
Hmm.
but we're in it for the love of the music first. And even if we make music that's going to be just in our basement and we're going to be jamming to it, we're still going to continue to make it because it's great that everybody else loves it, but we have to love what we do first. And I think
Hmm.
we enjoy making music together and we like how we vibe off of each other. And I think once you have that passion and it's not just about the business, I think that's the key to staying together and continuing to make music together.
Right. I also want to say that to add to Tiffany's point of just being able to stay together, but when you want to come back out as a group that hasn't been out for a while, you have to really have your team together too. You want to make sure you have your music publishing, all your backdoor administrative stuff together. And that's a lot of times what happens when you're on a label, they do everything for you. So when you try to come out independent, you have to now pick up the pace and learn about the new music age, digital publishing, and all that stuff. So it's a lot of learning on the fly as well. And you definitely want a good team and own your masters, own all your masters, have all your studio sessions paid for by you, the artist, so that you can control your music and where it goes.
1000%.
Yeah. And
What she
Monique,
said.
travel with someone you trust. Always travel with someone you trust.
Yeah.
Monique, girl, you are on it because, listen, I've been interviewing a lot of artists, mainly independent artists, and that's the same thing that I've been telling them. Now we've seen what's happened with TLC, and I think it was Taylor Swift and Ashanti as well too, with owning your
Yeah.
masters,
Yeah.
having to go back in the
Yeah.
studio and re-record the project that was
Re-recording.
already out.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
very, very, very key and important in this business. Now, if
Yes.
Yeah.
you're doing it independently, trust and
Hmm.
believe you're going to have to be able to pay for everything out
Oh
of your
yeah.
pocket. That means that
Yes.
studio time, that equipment, everything you're
Hmm.
putting
Yeah.
into that.
Yes.
So it's important, and I think that we need more people to understand that if
It's
they're wanting
very
to get into
important.
the
It
music
is.
business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we've seen,
Definitely.
and Monique, you also mentioned the shady side of the business. We've seen what happened with TLC and the contract. Like these girls literally had to go into Arista Record where Clive Davis was and hold,
With a
pull
bat.
out the fuse. Yes, set it off. So
Yeah.
they literally had to go in there and set it off because
Yeah.
just like for Crazy Sexy Cool, I think it was what, 50 million per
Yes.
record for
And
that
Yeah.
they were
for
like,
that
they needed like
particular.
food stamps or something.
Yeah.
I'm
Hmm.
And then I think
like,
they found out that they didn't even own their
They didn't
name in
even
the
own
group they
it.
Yeah.
did. So
They didn't
there's
even own
so
their name.
many, yeah, so many things that we're finding out now that
Hmm.
we actually are in the middle of investigating things from 30 years ago that we thought were in place that
Right.
were not. So it's really shocking because you trust people, like you trust people when they tell you, I got your
Trust
back.
no one.
I got your back. You guys are my girls, and
You're like
really,
family.
at
You're
the end of
like
the
my
day,
daughters. Yeah.
yeah, that
We
that
got
that's
you. You know how
really
many
not
times
true.
we heard that? We got you.
Or you
So,
guys just don't worry about the business. You just sing and we'll take care of that. And it's like, well, we are the business. We have to know
but we,
we should know everything, good, bad, or indifferent. We need to be educated on it anyway. So my thing is like, if you are bringing a new artist in and they're young, as an adult bringing a young artist in, you need to be feeding them exactly what's going on. And if you're not doing that, then there's a reason.
It was
You're
shady. They
hiding
didn't want us to
something.
ask
You gotta
questions.
be no, they don't want you to know. So that's a
Nope.
red flag to me. I want my artists, if I was a manager, I want them to know what I'm doing. I want full
Yeah.
transparency. But
Teach
that's a red flag.
them.
Yeah, you
Why
gotta
wouldn't you
teach them.
want to?
Because then they're obsolete. You won't need them.
exactly.
You won't need them.
that's what
So
So
that
Tiny from Escape said. She said the same thing. Just be quiet, just be pretty and sing, and we'll handle the rest
yeah,
behind the scenes. Just no, no, no. If something is wrong, call it
that's
out.
right.
And you
Yeah.
know
yeah.
who else who got on my show? She was
That's
in a
right.
girl group as well too. Dawn Robinson from In Vogue,
Yeah.
talked
Yeah.
about the same exactly identical
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
And that is, oh no, you shouldn't be answering questions. You don't need
Right.
to answer questions. Don't worry about it all. You know, you're getting this. And when you get your, you know, your check or whatever, you're just like, no, wait a minute. Something not right here. That's
Right.
why I
Mm-hmm.
tell people all the time, read over those contracts before you sign them. And
Yeah.
it's a
Mhm.
lot of
Yeah.
artists now that are coming out saying, hey, something went wrong with my contract.
Mhm.
A great example would be our girl Meg The Stallion. But what I love is that Warner Brothers gave her full reign independent creative control. She's under the label, but she still has an
Has
influence
all her
to
rights
say,
and stuff.
okay, this
That's
is what I
great.
want you to write.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
And what I hate is that this happened to you ladies. Like again, I give you ladies your flowers. You are one of my favorite girl groups. I could go on and on. The Cover
Thank
Girls, you
you.
had Destiny's Child, you had Allure, TLC, Escape, you had In Vogue. It was so many, just to name a few. But we never really hear about Shades
Yeah.
or Allure
Mhm.
or Eternal, which is a British
Yeah.
girl group,
Mhm.
but they were more so on the pop
Yeah.
R&B
Yep.
side.
Yep.
And we had assorted flavors as well too.
Mhm.
You can't forget
Mhm.
about that.
Yes.
We were
Yeah.
on
So I
Atlantic with
mean,
assorted flavors. Remember that, you guys?
Yeah.
For
Yep.
5 minutes,
3 seconds.
14
and
seconds.
speaking of record labels, Monique, you guys was signed to Motown Records. Another girl group that was on the Motown was the Good Girls with Shireen Crutchfield. They were
Yeah.
signed to the Motown,
Yes.
Back in the
and
day.
I
Yes.
remember little throwback. I remember seeing you ladies in Jason Weaver's "Stay with Me" video.
Mhm.
Looking
Yes.
Mhm.
beautiful as
Shout out to
usual.
Jay
You had
Weave.
Yeah.
on
Yes.
amazing with Terrell Hicks, and I'm
Yes.
just like, okay, I need to know who the hairstylist is for these ladies right here.
Yeah.
Y'all hair was on point. You looked
On point,
absolutely
right?
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Terrell, beautiful chocolate sister. We know her
Love
as
her.
Keisha and Belly.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yep.
So, for you ladies, what was it like being in Motown in this time? Because you had Jason Weaver signed to the label as well too.
I
It
mean,
was surreal.
it was something like, you watch these people. We grew up in that era of like the
The
uptown,
Jacksons, yeah. Stevie
and
Wonder.
when Andre Harrell was starting his own
Oh,
label, like to be a part of that for us was like, we thought that was the best
It was
thing
a
ever. Like it's like, oh
blessing.
my goodness,
Mhm.
A
yeah. So,
legacy, yeah.
and we saw all the acts that he signed. Everybody was phenomenal. So we just knew that it was going to be a whole different experience than we actually had. The problem is, unfortunately, I think the intent was good from Andre, but I feel that it was a little bit over his head. Like he brought all his friends, they brought their friends, and it just became like a party label.
Mhm.
So no
Hmm.
one really focused on
Making
handling the
music.
business side.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then it was
Yeah.
so much focused on partying and having fun,
Mhm.
and the artists weren't really paid attention to. So it actually became a disaster. But
Right.
we did some good experiences out of it. I
Yeah,
mean,
for sure. It taught us a lot.
great people. Yeah, we met great people. We worked with great producers. So I mean, the whole experience wasn't bad.
We
But I think
learned a
that,
lot. We
yeah,
learned a
we
lot
did.
of what not to do.
We did. We
For
did.
sure.
And Andre was great. I mean, we didn't, we had no issues with people at the label as far as how they treated us. But I think that they didn't push and
The
promote the project.
business. Yeah, the business. Also, when you're thinking about having an artist do a full album and you don't want to show them what the cost of everything is, like if your music video is $1 million, you have to pay that back. That's not just
Yeah.
money. And I think we were signed under the guise of like, oh, we'll make that back, or it'll just be, it'll just be a wash. But you owe them
Yeah.
till you die if you don't recoup that money. And that is the challenge when you're trying to come back out as a new group 25 years later. You're learning that it was really never your money and they spent it
Yeah.
willy nilly,
Things that you just will never, you just
never,
don't know when
and
you're
they
young.
charge you
You know?
more than what things really are. So you learn that later after you dig into the paperwork. It's a lot of
So,
learned lessons.
so the thing is, when we started to have a little bit of input and say, you know what, we want a different choreographer. Or, you know what, we would like our own makeup.
Right.
That's when it started becoming
Problematic.
an issue. Yeah. So we started to see a little bit of a shift
Hmm.
and them not liking that part so much.
Right.
But the good thing is that we were all women that spoke up. And
Right.
if we felt that something wasn't right, we were definitely going to say something. So we just took that risk of what they would think,
Hmm.
because certain things became, we had the same choreographer as every other group. And
Right.
then like a lot of conflict of interest. So we were like speaking up about that, and that became an issue. So
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like being a woman in this business. You're required to be quiet and stay
Yes.
silent. Don't say anything.
And if you're
This
not,
is
then you're being bitchy or diva or you're
Yep.
ungrateful
You're a
or you're
problem.
bratty.
Yep.
Even to this day, Miss Stevie, we can't ask questions of certain people that are helping us.
Yeah.
If they have any ill intention, they shut it down. So that's another red flag. If you're asking questions about something that you're paying for and people have a negative answer for you or they want you to just not worry about it, that's not going to fly in 2024. Like it just isn't, as an
Nope.
independent
Not
artist.
anymore.
Not can't do it
We're not
anymore.
those girls anymore.
Nope.
you've
Yeah.
got a
Those were
better mindset
babies.
of this business, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
listen, what would you ladies? I'm gonna go back to the magazine again. What would you ladies tell these girls in these pictures?
Hang in there, ladies. It's gonna get better. It won't last long. I'm not gonna
You're
last.
gonna be
You're gonna
okay.
be all right. Hold on.
Yeah.
Just hold on.
And you ladies came back in 2019 with
Yeah.
the single "This Ain't
Well,
Love,"
right before
and it is a
COVID.
night to
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this
And
was
this ain't
during COVID,
love.
as Daniel. Yes, and I seen the video. I'm like, oh my god, because the first song that I heard from you guys, heard from you ladies, was "Serenade."
Okay.
"Serenade" was the first song that I heard, and then I
Okay.
went back and "Tell Me Your Name." So I'm like, okay, I know about In Vogue, I know about TLC, I know about Destiny's Child. I've seen all of their music videos, but then I was scrolling through, and of course I seen Mo and Stephanie. Read about them. Shade, Don't Walk Away, and then your music video for Tell Me Your Name and Serenade pops up, and I clicked it and I fell in love with it. I'm like,
Aw,
okay,
thanks, Miss
these women
Stevie.
Thank
deserve the
you.
stage too. It was, I mean, it was like hard. It's like you go into an ice cream store and you don't know what flavor of ice cream you want because you had so many girl groups
Hmm.
and everybody had their own
yeah,
style. You
Yes.
ladies had each of your own different singing style. Like on the debut album, Daniel, your vocals on "Who Are You" really
I
stand out.
love
On
Who Are
Who
You.
are you? Is great, right?
That's one of my
Thanks,
favorites. Yeah.
yes,
Stevie.
your
Thank you.
vocals. Monique just has this. I can't describe her tone. It's very soft. It's very rich on "Serenade." Very
Serenade.
soft. It's very
Yes.
yes, very sensual, very soft on that song. And then you have Tip Dyke, and then Shannon as well with you guys. I mean, but she still supports you, ladies. That's beautiful. Is that it goes back to what Tiffany just said, which is sisterhood. Whereas
Hmm.
in this business, you have women we're pitted against each other,
Yeah.
and it feels as though it's going to be catty. Whereas
Hmm.
guys, I'm just like, well, guys do the same thing. They fight. They have disagreements as well too. We've seen the New Edition movie, so we know what to expect with guy
Yeah.
moves. So I mean, it's the same thing. For you ladies, what is the misconception about girl groups out here?
I think
I
a
mean, I
lot of
think that
it is that people want to say that there's always infighting, but it's like a
Yeah.
family. You have disagreements. You don't always get along. You get past it. You discuss it, and you move on. But there's never been a time where we have come to the point where we want to physically hurt each other or, call each other out our names. It's just never that serious. So when people talk about the infighting, I can never really relate because we've had 30 something years together. We've never really had those problems.
I,
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's common.
I mean, I think that the thing is, and when you're honest with each other and you communicate, right, you're gonna disagree, but you could agree to disagree, and that's where we are with it. So when people take things personal, you should never take it personal,
Nope.
because everybody's gonna have their own opinion, right? So you're one fourth of a group. You may not agree with everything. I may like the song, you may not like the song.
Hmm.
So you gotta learn. You have to compromise. So we
Right.
did that very early. We learned to do that. We never got upset if this person sang wrong. We never took that personal because
Right.
we knew that okay, Monique's voice fits that best. But Danielle's voice is better for that song. So you take the egos out of it, and that's how we were able to maintain without having those type of
Right.
issues.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of it's communication too, you know what I mean?
Totally.
If you can't communicate with each other and you talk around each other, that's going to be an issue too, you know?
Right. Right.
And then a lot of people pin each other against each other. Like this
That's
girl's the
true.
star. She's the star of the group, or she's the one.
Yes.
I mean, they tried that at Motown. I will be honest. So they
They did.
kind of did that a little bit, but we stuck together, and we knew that that wasn't true. Like we not there's no
I
one
know.
star. Everybody brings something to the table.
Oh my God.
Everybody's a star in their own way. So every girl can do something they want, you know. So we just have to. If we're gonna do the group thing,
Yummy.
we have to stick together. And then if we want to break off, we all have to agree to do that at the right time.
Yes.
But that happens to a lot of groups. I think people get in somebody's head and let them know, oh, you're the star. You don't need them. And I think that's where all the problems start.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah.
Now that happened with TLC during the Fan Mail album, and T-Boz talked about it, about how Left Eye wanted to go solo when they were going to go on tour for the Fan Mail album, and she was just like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
We're fixing to go on tour to promote this album, because when the new album drops, you got to do promotion, you got to do press for it, everything. There's a whole press release, everything for the album coming out. And she talked about how Left Eye, she was dating this guy, and the guy was basically gassing her head up. May God rest her soul, rest in peace to Left Eye. But she was dating this guy, and this guy was gassing her head up like, oh, you don't need them. You can go on and go solo and do your own thing. And what I loved about TLC is that they're just like, we are sisters. We disagree, we fight, but at the end of the day, we work it out within ourselves. We communicate. And they miss her. They really miss Left Eye. One thing I can also give to her is that, just like Monique is like the Left Eye of shades. And I compare her
You
to
so
Left
right.
Eye because she is very outspoken, but all of you collectively are outspoken. In Vogue, I told Dawn the same thing. I said, Dawn, you're like Left Eye of In Vogue. You're very vocal. You speak out. If something isn't right, contract, money, whatever it may not be, you speak out on it. Especially being a woman in this business, it is time for, in this climate right now, for, as the one of your lyrics in Tell Me Your Name says, it's time for girls to make a statement.
Yep.
Yes.
And I'm
Mhm.
going for mine. So it's time more and more for women to continue to be vocal and say, hey, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't look right. Why is it that I'm not getting the same amount as my male counterparts that are also signed to
Right.
this music label? That is a problem in this industry, and it's a gender pay gap. So it's
Yeah.
in the acting side, it's in the music side, and there is shady stuff done behind the scenes, as Monique mentioned. And it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, something isn't right here. Now we're starting to see the influx of artists saying, I'm going to do this independently. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
fund my music independently. And I've sat with so
Hmm.
many independent artists, and they said it's challenging because you're having to dig in and out of your pockets to go pay for things, but it's so worth it. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
my next question for you ladies each is, what advice would you tell to the next generation of artists that are out right now?
Just absolutely make sure you have a good solid team behind you,
That.
that you have all your paperwork together. You know what I mean? I feel like that's more important than anything else, because
Yeah.
if you don't have that, then you're going to be chasing that
Yep.
forever. You know what I mean? To get that right.
True.
So
Yep.
there's a lot of things that we learned along the way, which I wish we kind of had that
We
set.
getting it now, girl. Don't worry. We getting it.
If we had the right people in our corner initially, you know what
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't be chasing so hard now. But
Yeah.
you live and you learn. So if we could say anything to these youngsters coming up, I would say that.
I have something better to say. I would say to the team that was putting these artists out, to the team, transparency and honesty. Like, if you're not in it for that, it's gonna be found out. So you might as well come correct. Don't come out trying to helping artists when you have nefarious intentions, it's gonna come out. You're gonna be found out. So if you try and make a quick dollar, is what I'm trying to say. Don't do it on the backs of artists. Like, we are out here struggling to make our music. You just trying
Hmm.
to hustle to get $5. Go play with somebody else. It's as simple as that. It's too much of a scheming, scamming, hustle mentality right now in the music business, and it has to go back to really about music.
And I would just say, if you're gonna do music on the independent level, do music that you
Yeah,
love, that's true to who you are, because
no
this time
matter.
around we have control of it.
Yeah.
And the music that we're doing, we write, we love it. So this is who we are.
Hmm.
On Motown, there was songs that to this day I cringe when I listen. Like I'm like, oh,
Same.
you know what I mean? Like it's
It's
like
not
we
us.
didn't love every song on the album.
Yeah.
I mean, like some songs were forced on us, and
Hmm.
we had to do it.
Yep.
So now you get the ball in your court. You can pick and choose how you want to represent yourself. So if you
Hmm.
do have that opportunity, be true to who you are as an artist, and do music that 30 years from now you're still gonna get on stage and I love this song.
Hmm.
So like we
Yeah.
get excited when we get on, like when we did Summer Nights, like we love singing that song
Yeah.
because that's we wrote it, we
I
love it.
still love Tell Me too, Serenade. Like there's so many that I still
Yeah,
love.
but so
Yeah.
many that we didn't really like as well. So
That's why we never perform that.
Right. That part.
And also, I'm glad you mentioned that, Tiffany, because a lot, a lot of artists now, what was I about to say? I'm drawing a blank. A lot of artists now, independently, some of them want to sign to a label. The thing is, if you are signed to a label, here's the thing about that. I think I keep referencing so many girl groups because you were also a part of that caliber of all of the iconic girl groups that I've named. And it was T-Boss and TLC for their third album. This is after Left Eye passed on. For the third album, which would have been what, 3D? She said the album cover, if you go back and you look at that album cover, they're all dressed in black. I get it because it's outer space, it's very intergalactic. That's what they wanted for that vision, because for the fan mail album, that's what they wanted to go for as well, too. Versus Crazy Sexy Cool or Ooh on the TLC tip. Their style was transition and Left Eye has went on. But she said if you don't do the album, the record company, it was Arista. If you don't do the album will come out looking all willy nilly. They'll have you looking any kind of
Right.
way. And it's just like the artist has to have some input into it as well too. You can't just
Yeah.
go ahead and just put something together real quick. So it's all about artist development as well
Yeah.
too. And I'm pretty sure you ladies had to go through that. It was Coco from SWB. She said as well too. She said, "No, girl, we had to train to get to this position because when Millie, I think she referenced Millie Vanilli and the whole
Hmm.
situation. She said we had to go in there and audition and sing,
yeah,
Yeah.
and you know, from there the rest is on. It was originally four in SWB, but then they wound it up with three girls. The
Yep.
same for In Vogue. It was just like, okay, they wanted three girls, but
Yep.
they wound it up with four. It's just like, nah, we can't get rid of all of them. Each girl brings something to the ladies. Every
Hmm.
woman has their element. You have the earth,
Yes.
you have the wind, you have the fire. Each woman has their element in the group. The same for Brownstone. Each woman has their element as well too. And I could go on and on. You had For Real. For Real is another one. Pure Soul is another one.
Hmm.
So I mean, you had
Hmm.
so many girl
Danae.
groups of the 90s out. Jeanne,
Cut
yes,
close.
Jean,
Yep.
and Renee.
Renee.
They all had their own. Changing
Hmm.
Faces is another one. So I
yeah,
mean,
Yeah.
girl group has their elements. So
Yeah.
it's like everybody has the spice. Destiny's Child was the same thing. Beyonce was the Pokemon. She was that main ingredient.
Hmm.
And you had
Hmm.
Kelly, you had Michelle, you have Latavia, you had Latoya. Each girl group has their element. And I
Hmm.
think that that's what brings people to the shows is that
Hmm.
they have their favorites. Like, oh, I like
Right.
Danielle, I like Monique, I like Tiffany, I like Shannon. Each woman has their
Right.
element. So that's the importance of making a girl group also
Hmm.
stick together. I haven't been in one. I'm solo over here. These ladies do it so well, and I'm
Thank you,
such a
Stevie.
fan of them and so honored to be sitting
Thank
with
you.
you. Like watching your
Yeah.
serenade is on repeat every day
oh,
while I'm in the studio and I'm
Oh,
making Get Her Done. That is one of my songs. That is one of my favorites. If not that one, I have a playlist of all the girl groups of the 90s.
Thank
And Trust
you.
and Believe, Shades is in the list. Allure is in the list. You got 702. You got
Destiny's
Total.
Child.
It's
Total.
so many. Destiny's
Yeah.
Child,
Yep.
TLC, so many.
That's great.
But and then the guy side, I'm going to ask you ladies about the guy
Okay, I'm
side
coming
as
with
well
it.
too. How do you feel about the guy groups that are out currently right now?
Um,
Well, on that
there's
note,
really not a
I
lot,
have
you
to.
know what I mean? What'd you say, Mama?
I was saying they're calling me back in from lunch, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm filming
Monica.
on location, Miss Stevie, so I'm on my lunch break right now.
Oh
I'm
goodness,
sorry.
she's all set. Oh, thank you so much,
Thank you.
Monique, for your time.
Thank you so
Beautiful.
much. Ladies, hold it down. Love y'all. If
Love you.
I disconnect, am I okay? Love you guys.
Love
We love
you.
you too. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Monique of the girl group Shades. She's on set. She's on location filming right now.
Yeah.
But I was saying the guy groups that are out. I mean, the only one that I can think of would have to. I mean, you still got Blackstreet. You've got Silk. You've got
Yeah. Well, I
what's
mean, the
another one
90s
that's
guys,
out there as
I
well?
don't think there's anything like current, though, right? Is that what the question you was
Yes.
asking?
Yeah, I'm not
The
familiar
only
with
one.
anybody out right now,
Right
but
now, yeah. But I'm talking about like the
yeah.
90s guy groups, like that's still
Yes.
performing, like Drew Hill, and like those, they're still doing it.
112, yeah.
Yeah, they're still doing it.
Boys to Men, still love all of those groups. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You had take take six. You had so many guy groups that were out as well too. New Edition, of course, will
Oh,
always
New
stand the
Edition, they're like top
test
caliber.
of time. Yes.
Yeah.
Um, who else? Backstreet Boys, Blackstreet. It was so many guy groups that are out, and they don't think that guy groups have their issues, but yes, guy groups have their issues. If you've watched the New Edition story, you would see what we're saying. But what advice would you give to the up and coming guy groups that are coming out right now, ladies?
Um, I feel a lot of them. I feel like they're very young. Um, a lot. I'm thinking like the only ones that I can think of at this moment is BTS.
Yes,
Overseas. Yeah. There's a ton of them. They're polished. They look like they know what they're doing. I just really hope and pray that they have a good solid team behind them. Just like I said with anyone, just make sure you have, all your paperwork right and your team intact because that's the most important. If you don't have a solid team, then everything fall apart, you know.
absolutely, absolutely. So, real quick before we let you go, because I know I can't keep you beautiful ladies, it was such an honor being here with both of you. When I tell y'all I was fangirling before I came
Oh,
on, I was before I came on, I was fangirl. I'm
I
like, oh
love
my
it.
God, I'm sitting with Shades. And me and my mom were flipping through these magazines, and I said, Mom, I'm interviewing them today. They're coming on the show today. So it was such an honor to be able to sit with both of
Tell your
them.
Tell your
mom
mom we said
say
hey.
hello.
I sure will. The single Summer Nights. I love the Carl Thomas sample and the song as well too. You ladies put your
Great
own spin on
Kings.
it.
Woo!
Of
Thank
course, the
you.
visuals were giving what they were supposed to give. You all three looked beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank
The
you.
lighting, everything in this video was everything. What was it like
Thank
recording
you.
this single? Because this is definitely one for the summer.
It was. We wanted to be like one of those records that you can play forever. You know what I mean? Just every summer, that's the record that you want to play. Um, Tiffany, tell the story. This is Tiffany's answer. This is Tiffany's question.
So originally we had another track that we wrote it to. And it just for some reason was not giving us the feel that we were looking for. We're like, listen, this is like a comeback record. We need it to feel good. You know, we needed to wake people up. Like we want to bring that R&B feel back. So we went to Craig Kings, one of our producers, and we're like, listen, can you flip it, like make a remix? So that's actually a remix to the original version. And he took the acapella and just went crazy. And we were like, oh my God, this is what I'm talking about. This is the feel good record, the familiar sample that's in there. And then it's just a record that I think people that like all different type of music will like. Because we didn't
Hmm.
want to put ourselves inside a box, you know,
Yeah.
because we're still trying to figure out what our audience is right now, right? Because
Yeah.
we were out years
Our
ago.
comeback audience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're like, I want something that younger people would also listen to, and then the
Yeah.
older crowd, and then the middle. So I
Yeah.
feel like they hit all those areas. I thought it was perfect. And we're so proud of that song. And, you know, we just have many more coming just like it.
I
Yeah.
can't wait. And then y'all also did A Night to Remember, which was Jody Watley, Shalimar, and I feel as though Jody
Yeah.
Watley, she does not get her flowers enough. This
No,
woman
she's
was a
amazing.
fashion
I
icon,
know. I love
beautiful,
her.
talented. I mean, she was originally a Soul Train dancer. That's how the world
Yes.
got introduced
Oh,
to her.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then she got in Shalimar, and then the rest is history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the same
Shout out to
producer,
Jody
he flipped
Watley.
that track too. The same, yeah. We were like, let's come up with a remake that it when it comes on feels good. And
Hmm.
every time that song came on, like growing up, it was one of those get ready, you know, like I mean, you know, it's all about like I said earlier, it goes back to the music and music making people happy. Music that feels good
Feel
is what we
good.
try to do.
Yes. You need to
Yeah.
feel good. Something that makes you want to move, you know?
Yeah, because right now, I mean, especially today, like the times that we're in, you know, there's a lot of depression. There's a lot of things that are going
Oh,
on,
yeah.
and we don't want that type of music. We want something that can give somebody hope, that can make somebody feel happy
Happiness.
and
Yeah.
hopeful. So
Yeah.
that we're kind of focused on that when we think about certain things that, you know, we want to do music wise.
Hmm. We got some more hot stuff coming. So can't
I
wait.
can't wait. And y'all
Can't
know I'm a
wait.
fashion and a hair girl, so I know you ladies are going to look amazing in the videos, as you always do.
Thank
Every
Thank
you.
you.
single video that you put out, you all look gorgeous in them.
Thank
So
Thank
before
you.
you.
we let you go, we're gonna do something different. I'm gonna do something called track by track, and I'm gonna go back to you ladies' debut album, and you have to tell me which song from that album represents your group member. Which one you think your group member, which one
Okay.
would resonate with your group member. All right.
Okay.
So the first one is, of course, our girl Danielle. She killed it. The vocals on this one. Who are you? Who would this song be referenced to in the group?
Who would it be referenced to?
What do you mean? Like who does it remind
Yeah.
us of?
Yes. Which
It
member
reminds
of
me
your
of
group
me, I
is?
think.
Mm,
Right?
I agree. I agree.
That's
You
the
know
one
why?
song that. Go ahead, Tim.
I was gonna say, you know why? Because Who Are You had this innocence about it, and I think that that's Danielle's personality. Danielle had more of the pure, you know, she's the light, airy one, like the, you know what I mean? She's not as aggressive as maybe Monica I would be. Like, so Who Are You gave that type of vibe, like very, very soft, sexy, simple. That so I think it would remind me of Danielle.
Yeah,
all right. The second
I would
track is
definitely
but
agree with that.
but on that one, though, Tiffany, she gave us a little growl. Who else in a girl
No,
group
her
does
voice
that
is
little
big.
growl?
Her voice is big.
Yes.
But the I
Yeah.
mean when I mean the song "Who Are You," you're vulnerable. Like the what it's about is kind of what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
who is this guy? Like I have a
Who is
crush
this
on
guy?
you.
Where did he
You know,
come
like
from?
I've
Yeah.
seen you around
What
like that.
nonsense?
No,
Yeah.
not vocally as far as like her blowing, not that part. Just the song and the yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The second one is Eventually, which is another one of my favorite cuts from your debut album as well.
I'm gonna say Danielle as well on that
I
one.
know. that just, you know what, that song brings back so much for me. Just in the studio, just the performance of it, and just live, and how, remember my Earls, there was a part in the song where I'm saying I'm supposed to say my girls, but I end up saying my Earls, and they kept it because it was flavor, but we hated it. So every time we hear it, we kind of make fun of it.
Yeah.
But it's just, that's just a very memorable song to me. And it just, and then the vibe of Hawaii, that was number one in Hawaii. And just so many things for that
It's
song
more
is so
poppy,
memorable.
which is more
It is,
Danielle.
yeah. Yeah.
Danielle is more of the pop, so that reminds me of Danielle.
And number three, y'all already know it. I shouldn't even have to tell y'all.
Serenade.
Serenade. Yes.
Serenade. I'm gonna go with Tiff on that one
You know
because
that
I just love,
still want that
love,
chop from that video.
yeah,
I
and
want that chop.
everybody talks about that, and the way that she opens up the song. You know what I mean? Just the way she just looks up and she's just like giving it to you. You know what I mean? It gives that vibe. It gives that sexy, sultry vibe of the song, and it makes you want to. She just calls you into it. That's what I get from it. What do you think,
Thank
And
Tiff?
you.
then
Yeah, I
and
agree.
then for your part, Danielle, you were sitting in the chair, and then when you rotated around, I said,
Yes.
oh my God, Monique, I
Yes.
need this lip color right here. Like it's glitter, it's everything.
Oh, oh
Yes.
So
my
the
God,
makeup
yes.
artist killed it in this
He
video.
was
And
so
then
amazing. He really was.
Yeah.
He was like before his time. Yeah, he was dope.
and the same makeup looks girls are still doing today. And then you
Yes.
had Monique. Monique had like the feather. I said, "Oh my God!" And then
Yeah.
where it goes, the camera pans out, and it's all four of you, and your dresses,
Yes.
everything, the lighting, the
Yeah.
colors. It was beautiful. But when
It
the
was
video
great.
opens up,
I love
it
that
was
video too.
Yeah, me too.
grass. You had your eyes closed. I said, "Oh my God, these women are absolutely gorgeous." I had to turn to the TV like this. You know how a dog does? That's how I was looking. That's how you ladies looked. You all looked amazing.
Thank
Thank
you.
And
you.
and you all have each writing credits on this project, on your
Yeah.
debut album. Each
Yeah.
have written on this
Yeah.
album.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was good that we had the opportunity to do that, and we were blessed to be able to do that because sometimes they don't allow you to. You know what I mean? They don't want you to.
And I think that we were also blessed that they appreciated that everybody sings lead, which also was one thing I think that made us stand out from certain other groups that were great, but certain other groups at the same time that were out, they had a lead singer.
Right.
So that's why when people say lead singer, I always correct them in this group because there was never a lead singer. Like if you
Yeah.
go through the album, you can. There was once like every time I think of you was just only me. There will be what would you do? That's only Monique. There's like so everybody had like a song or everybody was featured with different parts on a song.
Yeah.
So everybody had their niche and they did respect that and they did allow us to show that and showcase that. So
Hmm.
that's one thing I think that we did stand apart from others as far as that.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Tiffany, because at that time, women wasn't really, you had men like writing the songs, like Babyface, who's a genius at writing for women. It's like he
Hmm.
knows exactly what we're thinking.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
perfect example would be the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack. It was
Yeah.
all women from SWB to Patti LaBelle
Hmm.
to
Yeah.
TLC. And of
Whitney.
course, I
Yeah.
keep saying it, may God bless her soul. We just lost Sissy Houston. Whitney
Yeah.
Houston was the key person for that album,
Yeah.
the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack. So it's
Hmm.
like you had male writers that wrote for women, but at the time, I would say Whitney and Beyonce and Missy Elliott broke that mold for women to come out and write more music at a
Yeah.
time where it was unheard of for women to write music. But you ladies
Yeah.
also broke the mold as well too for other female
Hmm.
writers out there.
Yep. I agree.
Now the next one is What Would You Do? That's the next track.
Monique.
That's
Monique.
Monique all day long. All
That's my
day.
favorite song.
I know.
Mhm.
Sexy, sultry.
Love
She
it.
she bring it on that song.
And Kenny Green wrote it. I mean, he was phenomenal.
Oh,
We
yeah.
Yeah,
loved him.
he was amazing. Yep.
Yeah.
Intro. He's from the group
Yes.
Intro, and he wrote
Yep.
Reminiscence for Mary J. Blige. So again, these male writers are writing for women. It's like, how
Mhm.
do you know what we're going through today?
Right.
Like, how do you know?
Yeah.
Right.
And speaking of Missy wrote along with Chad Elliott from the Neptunes, number 5, Why?
Yes. I love that one too.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was a
she
good one
did.
too.
Yep.
Yep.
We're gonna remix that song. We have a few songs from our first album that we're gonna put a mixtape out, and we're gonna kind of
Yep.
do the music over and just give it a new 2024 vibe for the people that really love those songs. So I can't wait for
Yes.
that.
I can't either. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Put a different twist on everything,
Mhm.
but make it more new.
Yeah.
I think I wish they would re-release y'all's debut album. Like, you know how every album that comes out, there's a 30th anniversary, there's a 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
Latest 30th anniversary album, the debut album. In Vogue, I remember them re-releasing their debut album, and we remember the cover. They were all dressed in white. They had red lipstick,
Yeah.
Born to Be. And I'm just
That
like,
was
these
hot.
women look like runway models, as well as shades. You ladies looked like runway models as well too. But you each, again, that spice, that element. Each
Yep.
woman in the group sang lead. So the next single is Love Never Dies, and that is also from Chad Elliott. So who would this song be ideal to in y'all's group?
Mm, I
Danielle,
don't know. Yeah, I guess, right?
I didn't like that song, but I'm gonna
I
say
didn't either.
I'll say Danielle.
That wasn't a
It wasn't
favorite of
one of my
mine.
favorite. No,
No. It was cool
it
though.
was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give you that one, Danielle.
Okay.
And last but certainly not least, number 7. Y'all already know it. It is the song that is in heavy rotation in my playlist. Tell me.
Huh. I'm gonna have to say Monique on that one because of the bridge for me. Because that bridge was so like it was at just everyone knew it. Everybody wanted to sing it. Everybody waited for it. Even still to this day, people want to hear that. Cause I'm not the girl. You know that
Yeah.
with the rant. So that's like a signature statement, and
Okay.
that's what I think of for that song. What about you, Tiff?
Um, I was gonna take that song for myself.
Okay. How
I
come?
don't know. I just feel like that "Girls Help Me Sing It" anthem part. I always think of that in the beginning.
Okay.
That's what stands out. You know, that beginning,
Girls,
like, because it really was for the girls. Yeah, it was
yeah,
really
yeah,
like
yeah.
a women and like empowerment to me. So that's
And
it.
then
I would just
I
think of
love
that.
that if you want me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was hot
Hmm.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had some dope choreography to that. So,
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
another thing, y'all made denim look hot in that video. I
we
am a
want some
denim
denim,
girl. I
right?
love denim.
We was doing
Y'all
it with the
had denim
denim.
on. Yes, it
With
was like
Yeah.
y'all had the black
yeah,
bustier top and the denim jeans. Y'all were in front of the cars and y'all just
yep,
break out dancing. I'm just like, okay, they made denim look hot.
And that's why
yeah,
summer nights we tried to bring back the denim. We did like a redo.
yep.
Number 8 is the last to know, and this is also from Chad Elliott as well too.
Tiff, that's you, Tiff.
It is
No, that's Monique. I'm lying. That's
Monique.
Monique.
Yeah.
That's Monique. Yeah,
Yeah.
sultry.
Yeah. I would
Yeah,
say Monique.
yep.
Yeah.
Definitely Monique on that one.
Yeah.
Every time I think of you,
Tiff all day. Tiff, Tiff.
That would be me.
Yeah. Tiffany bebopping on stage. Oh, we used to do that,
Yeah,
remember?
we used to perform that song. Yeah.
Yeah, that was in our live show.
Yeah. That's hot.
The next one is I Believe. And Chad Elliott is also on this one. Again, you ladies, I have to give y'all
No,
flowers.
No, that was
I
the
didn't
no,
think
characters,
that's the
actually.
characters.
Yeah, the characters did, I believe.
Oh, I don't
I
know.
believe,
I would say me.
I would say you too. I would say both of us, honestly,
Yeah.
especially with the remix too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
We love that song. That's
I
we
do
we
too.
wrote
That was
that,
our
so we
baby.
love
That was
that.
one of our babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
how deep is your love?
Another message to women. Another empowering message to women.
Yes. We always try to have a message, to these young girls coming up.
Mhm. Yeah.
Be smart.
And again,
Yep.
you ladies were ahead of your time. Like the song Tell Me is like a female empowerment anthem because it's telling women, not to the fellas out here, because I know some of y'all going to be in my DMs upset with me, but this is things that women we go on a daily. We are having to constantly prove our worth.
Yeah.
And that's basically what Tell Me is saying. Prove your worth to me. We're not saying we want to take your money. We don't want none of that. Just if you're coming to the table, make sure you know what you're bringing to the
Cheyenne.
table to make me glad to. So
Hi, Cheyenne.
the next
Oh.
one is I Believe. I Believe.
No, we just did that one. I believe.
Yep.
Okay.
Right?
Time Will Reveal. That's the
Time
last one.
will
I'm sorry.
reveal.
Shannon.
Yep.
Mm.
That one reminds me of Shannon.
That does remind me of Shannon too. Shannon. Yep.
Yeah. Cause
And what was the
she
other
had
one?
that
How
soft,
deep is your
innocent thing.
love? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's it, Fashion Dolls. The moment
Yay.
you have been. Thank
Thank you.
Thank,
you
thank
so
you. Well,
much.
This was
we've
fun.
been waiting for a long time to get on your
I
show, so
know.
I'm very excited we made it.
Same.
I'm so honored to be in y'all's presence. Y'all
Aw,
just don't
thank you
know.
for
Y'all
having
music
us.
has gotten me through these crazy times we're having right now. Being a woman in this climate, your music is empowering to women in this climate
Yeah,
right now, more than ever,
Thank
where we are fighting for
I
freedom
know.
for everything right now.
Thank you.
It's telling women to know their worth. And my
Thank
colleague
you.
now time says I'm here for all the real R&B legends. Yes,
Yay.
you ladies
Thank you.
are
Thank you for
tremendous.
watching.
thank
Yes.
you so much.
You take care.
All right, Fashion
All right.
Dolls. I'm gonna leave you
All
guys
right.
with the
Bye.
final
See you
thought of
later,
the day. Take care, ladies.
Danielle.
Bye, Tiff.
All right. Bye.
Fashion Dolls, I'm gonna leave you with the final thought of the day. That was legendary girl group Shades. And it was so great being able to talk with Danielle, Monique, and Tiffany. Oh my God, that was amazing. So I'm gonna leave you guys with today's final thought, which is basically about working together. Today's show was about sisterhood and teamwork and group work as well. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. If everyone is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself. Remember that. Success is inevitable when everyone is working together. And it takes teamwork. Depend on your sister, depend on your brother. Work together in this climate more than ever. And before I close out real quick, we have 26 days left until election. I need you guys to get registered to vote. If you are not, voting is very important in this election. It is very critical. Do not sit out. Do not be complacent. There is only one clear choice, and that is Madam Vice President Kamala Harris. I love you all. Again, go to vote.org if you're not registered. If you're already registered, make sure if you're good to go if you're already registered, but just double check and make sure that they haven't purged you off of the rolls. So make sure that you guys are doing that as well. Check it. All right, voting is important in this election. If you don't know about Project 2025, you need to look it up. I love y'all. Y'all be safe, Fashion Dolls, out here during this Hurricane Milton. Five people, we lost five people. Five people passed away. I was reading on ABC, CBS, one of the networks. Five people passed away. So my heart goes to Florida out there during Hurricane Milton and Hurricane Elaine. to those who've been impacted by it. I love you all, fashion dolls, and joining me tomorrow. Guess what? It's Friday. We have Ener Haroldson from overseas. He's coming here to the Dollhouse, fashion dolls. I will see y'all tomorrow, and this show will be uploaded on Style by Stevie daytime on YouTube. So make sure you guys, if you haven't, go on over, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Check out the community tab as well as some of the previous shows. I love you all. Y'all be safe out here. And again, vote Harris Walls 2024.